In this video, we continue with our series on complex numbers, and we are going to focus on graphical representations of complex numbers. So in previous videos, we have defined a complex number as a plus bi, where a represents the real part of the complex number and b the imaginary part of the complex number. Now, what's important to know is only the real part can be represented on a number line, but the imaginary part cannot be represented on a number line. So it's not possible for us to plot a complex number on a normal Cartesian plane. But what we can do is replace the y-axis and the x-axis to represent the real and imaginary part of a complex number. So that is called a complex plane. We will change the x-axis into the real axis for the real number and the y-axis to the imaginary axis for the imaginary number. So let us look at a few basic examples on how we can plot complex numbers. So let us say that we have z equals to 2 plus 3i. Now the real number or the real part is 2 and the imaginary part is equal to 3, and I read that from the complex number. So on the real axis we can find the value of plus 2, and on the imaginary axis we can find the value of plus 3. So the complex number of z can be represented on the complex plane with the coordinates of 2 and 3. Let us look at another complex number of w as -4 minus 3i. So again, we have our complex plane where the real part replaces the x-axis, and the real part here is -4, and the imaginary part replaces the y-axis where the imaginary part is -3. So the complex number of w can be represented on the complex plane with the coordinates of -4 and -3. So that is how we can graphically represent complex numbers, by replacing the x-axis with the real value of the complex number and the y-axis with the imaginary value.